James the engine loves pulling passenger trains. It was the only job that he could feel proud to do. But as a mixed traffic engine, he can pull goods trains as well, and he didn't like that at all. And usually, he would try to show off to his passengers and be the center of their attention. At Crovan's gate, James was waiting to pick up passengers from Duncan's train. How can I do my passenger runs if Duncan is always late? At last, Duncan bustled in. Duncan, you are late. Again!
I know! It is all because I had to fetch my own coaches and I was held up at the road crossing.
As the passengers boarded James's train, one of them was complaining to the station master. I wonder what's gotten him in such a bad mood.
I know! He was always grumpy and he was always complaining about everything.
Well, maybe he'll be much more happier by riding on a splendid engine like me. Oh, well, that's my cue. I'll see you tomorrow, Duncan. What Duncan had said to James was true. The passenger was just as grumpy as Duncan. He would complain if the train was running late. He complained when the coaches are too full. He complained when the train went too slow. Come on, what's the holdup? James felt annoyed. At the end of the day, James arrived back at Crovan's gate, where Rheneas is waiting to take the passengers home. Hello there, James. Has your day gone well? I don't want to talk about it. Has it gone bad? Something like that, Rheneas. Anyways, I have to go. Goodbye, Rheneas. Okay, goodbye. That's odd. Later that night, James was complaining about the grumpy passenger. And he even has the nerve to say that I'm late, and he never appreciated the ride I gave him. Well, I've heard about that man. Really, Thomas? Yes, I've heard from the narrow gauge engines about Duncan having a bit of trouble with that man.
Hold on a minute, guys. Where is Gordon?
He has taken a local train to London, and he's not gonna come back until tomorrow.
So who will sleep in his berth?
Hello, everyone. And Thomas, thank you for letting me stay here for the night. No problem, Edward. Well, it's good that you're here, Edward, because James is having a bad day. Really? What's the matter? I had just picked up a very grumpy passenger from Duncan this afternoon, and he's never happy. All he does is just complain about an engine being late. I see. And not only that, he also complains that there's not enough space in the coaches. I see. Well, James, the only way to deal with that problem is just to ignore him. Ignore him? That's right. Don't let that get the better of you, and you'll get tired of it eventually. But James wasn't sure. 3 days had passed, and the grumpy passenger was still making complaints. I'm getting tired of that old man grumbling every day. I have to do something. Maybe I'll get an extra coach for my train, and there'll be plenty of space for my passenger. James thought it was a great idea, but has forgotten about Edward's advice. Hi, Annie and Clarabelle. Would you like to be my coaches for today? Oh, why do you ask, James? Well, you see, I needed some extra coaches for my train, so there will be more space for extra passengers. No way we'll run with you, James. Oh, but why not? When you pulled us back in the 1920s, you were the worst. Alright, here we are at our final destination. James, you stopped beyond the platform again. What I did back there was just a mistake, that's all. More like a very careless mistake, James. Come on, girls, let's go to my branch line. Well, I guess I'll have to find another coach. Hey Toby, are you gonna be using that caboose? Yes, James, I'll be using it to transport workmen to the quarry for a week. Hey Gordon, can I... No. Hey Duck, can I borrow your slip coaches for the day? Sorry, James, I'll need them to carry holiday makers for the summer. Okay, can I borrow your coaches, Oliver? Sorry, James, I need them for the summer as well. Oh, fine. But thanks anyway. Later, the next day... how is there never a spare coach? Then, James noticed a bright red coach in a carriage siding. James had never seen that coach before. Hey Rosie, can I ask you something? Sure, James, what is it? Do you know what is that coach over there? Oh, that is Thomas's special coach. What? Thomas never told me about that coach. Yeah, the coach is also part of Gordon's express train, and usually after Gordon finishes express run, I have to remember to shunt the special coach to the bay platform for Thomas. Well, I have to go. I have a train to take from Dryaw. Goodbye. After hearing this, an idea flew into James's funnel. The next day, punctually at 3:30, Gordon steams in with the express. At the same time, James arrived in the yard to collect his coaches. James, do you mind taking Gordon's coaches? I have to arrange a goods train to Kronk. Oh sure, why not? Thank you, James. James pulled the express train out of the station and shunted it into the carriage siding. Then he took the special coach with him, instead of shunting it to the bay platform. That evening, James steamed proudly into the station. Hop on board, everyone. There is plenty of space for all of you. Just then, Thomas came fussing. Hey, James, what are you doing with my coach? Come back here! But James was already gone. Out on the open line, James came across some workmen busy on the line. Oh no, warning flags. I don't want to hear any more complaints from that man. So James just sped up, and the workmen were very cross. But James didn't care. He felt pleased with himself. When James arrived at Crovan's gate, he was happy, and so were all his passengers. All except for one, of course. Good evening, James. How are you today? I actually had a good day. Thank you, Reneus. The next day, James had just picked up Duncan's passengers, but he had to wait to pick up extra passengers from Skarloey's train. Inside the train, the grumpy passengers started to complain again. Oh, come on! Will you hurry up over there? He kept complaining until James had had enough. As Skarloey approached the station, James began to set off. Hey, James, come back! I have passengers for you! James was already gone, and he had left Skarloey's passengers stranded on the platform. As James sped down the main line, he came across the workmen once again. Aw, come on! I can't have any more complaints! I can't seem to do anything right today. At the end of the journey, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting at the platform, and James knew what is coming to him. Sir, I know what you're going to say, but before you can say anything, I am so sorry for causing so much trouble. Thank you for saying so, James, but I would like to know, why have you taken Thomas's special coach and speed through the railworks and left Skarloey's passengers behind? It's because of that grumpy old man, sir. I was trying to stop him complaining. James, I've known that passenger well. He is always grumpy, and he'll always find something to complain about. But today, you have made everybody grumpy. I know, sir, and I'm sorry, sir. From now on, you must do your best to ignore that man and get on with doing your job properly. I will. Thank you, sir. That night, James spoke to Thomas. Thomas, I'm sorry I took your special coach. Are we still friends? Of course we are, James. An apology accepted. And Edward, you are definitely right. I should have just ignored that man. I'm glad to hear that, James, but next time, don't let your temper get the better of you. And James solemnly agreed with Edward's advice. And you know what else friends do? Do what, Edward? They always say goodnight to each other. And so the engines did. Bye, everyone, and good night. Good night, Edward. Good night, Edward. Goodbye. Soon, everyone was fast asleep, and James learned a lesson about passengers and coaches.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a look who's coming down the track. Make way for James, hooray for James. A shiny paint with a jet black stack. Make way for James, hooray for James. What is for certain and we really should note, it's indisputable, let's take a vote. He's the really splendid engine with a bright red coat. He could brag all day how fast he goes, how good he looks, he's such a pose. But what about the time he got covered in mud? Oh, what a dope, what a dud. But up and down the line you'll hear the others say, despite his vanity, he really is okay. Dependable, reliable, and seldom late. We all think James is great. Speeding down the line like a lightning flash. Make way for James, hooray for James. Hang on to your hat as he whooshes past. Make way for James, hooray for James.
He really knows how to stage a show.
You better stand back and watch him go. He's the really splendid engine with a bright red coat. Take it over the top. Look at who's swanning it down the track. Make way for James, hooray for James. He never looks up, he never looks back. Make way for James, hooray for James. Attack conceited and really quite vain. He knows we love him just the same. Take a look who's coming down the track. Make way for James, hooray for James. The shiny paint with a jet black stack. Make way for James, hooray for James. He's the really splendid engine. Shiny engine. He's a really splendid engine. Yep, that's our James. There's James.
Hello, I am Toby the Tram Engine. We hope you enjoyed our 4th episode of the series. If you like the original episode, the link is in the description. Please do like and subscribe to our channel so you can always be notified for upcoming videos. Well, that's all I can say for today. We'll see you next time in the next episode.